Hello and welcome to ALTA's Tutor Talks Tuesday. I am Nicole. ALTA Tutors Talk Tuesday is a three-part series where we share information about ALTA, talk to our tutors about student experiences in the ALTA classroom, and introduce ALTA's new initiative. ALTA started in 1992, offering free literacy classes to individuals with low literacy levels, inviting them to improve their reading, writing, and spelling. Our classes are for individuals 16 years and over. This evening, we will share about two of ALTA's programs, speak with guest teacher Ms. Joseann Jemmot, and share some exciting information. So right now, we want to invite and welcome Ms. Joseann Jemmot to our Tutor Talks Tuesday. Welcome, Joseann. It's lovely to have you.
Hi, Nicole. It's really good to be here to be able to share my experience as well as the students' experience in the classroom.
Yes, thank you so much. So, Joseann, you're a level 1 tutor, are you?
Yes, I am.
Right, this is wonderful. What has been the student experience in the classroom when they come to your classroom, when they come to a level 1 classroom?
Right. So the student from the get-go, or from the jump, as the young people will say, uh, it's really showing them that open-handedness, you know, being able to even come and say, Miss, this is an area that I really, really need more work on. Um, and, you know, I think it's individual, it's based on the individual and really opening them up, letting them know, and also sharing stories. You know, as a tutor, we're supposed to be the one leading that in getting our story out there as to why we chose ALTA and how dedicated we are to ALTA and to learning. So when the student feed off of that energy, they will also share their story as to how or why, how their journey began
Yeah.
basically. And when we start sharing, we tend to open this mutual rapport in understanding that we are all in this together.
I love that. And I like how you point out that the students share their stories. Do you remember any stories that really touched you that you would like to share, or would you prefer not to? Is there, maybe just general talk about some of the stories that students might have shared their journey to ALTA.
Yeah. Um, well, all these stories, you know, it tend to have some that will really stand out to you, but the baseline of it is really with persons not having that support
Yeah.
and also not being able to get to overcome that fear as quickly, because some may come in young. As we know, we may have young persons, we may have older persons. We always hear that, you know, I always wanted to come ALTA, I always wanted to come ALTA, but it's always because I was ashamed or I was afraid or I didn't want this one to know. But when I hear they say, I decided today, I just walk in, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you. And we give them a round of applause because this is a huge hurdle that we don't even understand that they jumping over just to step into that ALTA classroom. So we hype them up as much as possible to let them know that we are here for you.
I love that. I love that. When they come in, you all are there to support them and give them that
Yeah.
encouragement. And that in itself can improve their self-esteem and their self-worth, because even in my class, you hear so many stories, especially that shame. We see our students and they come to the class and they're very, very hesitant even to step in the door. And
Yes.
you have to go out and encourage them to come in. One of the things that I've recognized with my students, Joseann, is that when they come in, they're afraid to talk to each other and they're afraid to speak, and they speak very softly. And then they recognize that some of the other students in classroom, hey, these people have the same challenges that I do. And they tend to open up. Have that been your experience in your class, in the level 1 classroom?
Yes, yes, definitely. But I wouldn't say that we have a long drawn out process of that, because our classroom, well, my classroom, it's really, it's just a really beautiful dynamic. Um, and the students, when they come into that classroom, it's like, hey, sit here, don't go so far, don't go to the back, come to the front, you know, and they encourage each other. And it's really maybe just one day, I would say maximum one day before, yes, that's how soon it happens. By the next class, everybody's just like talking, just talking
That's
and getting to know each other. Yeah.
Yeah, you all break the ice very early. And talking
Really, yeah.
about breaking ice, one of the things I know that we have in the ALTA classroom that is very exciting for our students are games. And our students
Yes.
love to play. Tell us something about your student experiences when it comes to the ALTA games.
Right. Because the games complement the teaching in previous lessons, um, I tend to make it really competitive because I'm a competitive tutor. So we will have A side and maybe B side where we have the other tutor choosing the B side, and we will see who gets it first. So, for instance, like syllable division, that's one of the subtopics that comes a lot throughout the year,
Right.
right? So book one, book two, and book three. So students will be able to identify easily, and it's really about how fast you can get the word, you know, in snatch games and bingos, all of these things, really, really exciting games that complements the lesson well.
I like you mentioned bingo because we also have bingo in our beginner classroom, and that is something they love. And that sight words, finding the sight words, you call them out and they find the sight word and they cover it, and then they shout out bingo when they find it.
Bingo, yes, they need to be loud in my classroom. You need to shout bingo.
Amazing to see how excited our students get, and we know
Yes,
that ALTA really stresses the importance of playing games to reinforce
yes,
learning in the ALTA classroom. So it's a really exciting time when the formal lessons have come to an end and it's game time.
yes.
Students get really, really happy, and that's another thing I find. I don't know if you have found that in your ALTA classroom, that it really brings the students together and they form nice relationships and they become more comfortable with each other. Have you found that in the ALTA classroom?
Definitely, Nicole, definitely. And I love to also hear about the pecans, you know. It's always about, hey, how are you so slow in finding these things? Hey, don't hide this word, don't, so it's really enjoyable to see. Um, and it really builds their confidence as well.
Mhm.
Because, with these snatch games, if you pile up, if you get the first set, and you get more, you're familiar with the snatch games, obviously.
Yeah.
Those are like the main games, the real exciting games. So when the student gets more, matches more of the words or the cards, it's always next time you can beat me, or I'll get that next time. So it's always nice pick on any classroom, and they also strive to win really. So
Yeah,
in order to win, you also need to learn.
that's
So
right.
that adds a really, really good dynamic to it.
That's a great key point you made there, that they
Yes.
have to learn in order to win. And that is a big motivation for our ALTA
Yes.
students in the ALTA classroom. I love that aspect of it. I know I get excited when it comes.
Yes.
But what are some of the resources that our students have to help them learn in the ALTA classroom as you're talking about learning? What are some of the resources that they do have to help them?
Right. So we have the Alta book, the the student book, which is full of lovely, lovely lessons that complements a nice, comprehensive passage.
Mm-hmm.
We have the phonic cards, which we learn. The students learn songs, the letter songs. We have sight words, words that we use every day. We see it every day. So what you would find is that a student will come and be like, I saw that word, I saw that particular word, and it's everywhere you go, you see the sight words.
Yeah.
You must see the sight words. So we apply that words that you recognize everywhere, you use daily, you say it all the time. You may not be able to spell it, but once you see and be able to make that distinction and know, okay, this is what I've been saying, but now I learn to spell it, and then I could actually write it, write stories, develop stories. So it's a really, really nice dynamic. I know I use that word all the time, but it's just a beautiful dynamic. Alta brings Alta is a beautiful program, a
Yes.
really, really great program.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And when our students join our ALTA program, it's amazing to see the transformation when they come
Yes,
in
yes,
from the beginning, day one, and when the term or the year ends. in July. What have been the experience of your students walking into an art classroom in September, pre-COVID, of course, and leaving, and at the end of that academic year, what are the changes that you see in your students? Because I know I see significant changes in my students, but what are the changes that you see in your students?
In first term, I would say that first term, we get to know each other really quickly. The students encourage each other, and when it's time to transition to the second term, you will always say, "I hope to see you," with that December, "I hope to see you coming," and they'll be like, "Miss, I'm not seeing this person. Call this person," and they even exchange numbers, and they will encourage each other. So that is really important. When you don't see a student, they inquire, so that you really know that it's care, genuine care for each other in the classroom.
Yes.
And it's something that really drives the tutor to come every single time. It doesn't matter, just seeing that the students want to learn and that they encourage each other to learn. How can I not be in that classroom to be that support for them,
Of course, of course. So, Joseann, you talked about the relationship that the students have with each other in the classroom. And what I've experienced in my class, when they come in, they're very timid and shy, but at the end of the year, they really encouraging each other. And one of the things I've noticed, like, okay, we have returning students and we have new students, and returning and new end up in the same class. But those returning students are they're now encouraging and supporting and telling the others we can learn it, and that kind of camaraderie spirit in the ALTA classroom. Have you had that experience in your ALTA classroom with your students?
Definitely, Nicole, definitely. And that is one of the things that really encourages me in seeing that these students love sharing with each other, love talking about what they don't understand. They usually, and the thing is, you would have some who are strong in some areas and others who are not so very strong.
Yes.
And they complement each other. So you will find they gravitate towards that person. So they will sit and be like, "Okay, you don't understand this. Let's learn." And a student comes to mind, and this student is really dynamic in terms of drawing students together and really helping them to is always learn phonics. Phonics is the main thing you need to learn. Phonics is the center of this. Phonics, you need to learn your phonics and the sight words. Don't forget the sight words. So, they are aware of the importance of what strengthens their learning.
Right.
Once they identify that, it's really important. And then you would say, okay, well, this leads to this. Once you learn the phonics, you'll be able to learn to spell these words, and so on and so on. And they understand this.
I love that. I love that. I love that encouragement they give to each other in the classroom. You can imagine learn your phonics, learn your sight words, and
Learn your
you
phonics.
know that is important to learning to read and write. I love that with our students. But Joseann, it has been such a pleasure chatting with you this evening. So we want to talk, we also have our level twos, so we talk about that some more over the next 2 Tuesdays as we talk some more to our tutors. We want to thank you for joining us this evening on our first Premier Tutor Talks Tuesday, and we want to wish you a good evening.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure being able to express myself and say how it's a joy to be ALTA.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So you have heard from our tutor, Joseann Jemmot, and it was such a pleasure chatting with her this evening. So we want to talk about our new initiative. Our new ALTA initiative is the ALTA B Classroom, which will soon be launched. Our ALTA B Classroom allows our students to sign up and continue learning right from the comfort of their own homes. Stay tuned next week for more information on how ALTA is reaching their students. If you are interested in our ALTA classes, call us at 664 ALTA. That is 664-2582 or 624 ALTA That is 624-2582 or 341-8668 to sign up for your ALTA class in your home or on your computer or smartphone. We encourage you to follow, like, share our page when you come across it on Facebook and visit us on our other social media platforms. We take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, NGC, for sponsoring our Stand Tall, I Am ALTA campaign and our student registration. Thank you for joining us for our Tutor Talk Tuesdays. We look forward to seeing you next week. Good night, and remember, stand tall, I am ALTA.